Ever looked at the coins in your pocket or the numbers on your screen and wondered, what is this really? A piece of metal, a strip of paper, a digital glow. We hand it over and we get food, a house, a dream vacation. It seems like magic, but it's not magic. It's one of humanity's greatest and most fragile inventions. It's a story of trust, of problems solved with creativity, and of power. This is the story of money. And it begins not in a bank, but in a field. Imagine a world with no money. You are a farmer. You grow wheat. Your neighbor is a potter. She makes beautiful bowls. You need a bowl. She needs wheat. Perfect. You trade. This is the barter system. Simple, right? But what if she doesn't need wheat this week? What if she needs a new roof? You don't know how to thatch roofs. Now you have to find a roofer who wants wheat. It gets complicated. What's the value of a chicken versus a knife? How much wheat for one bowl versus a large jug? The system is clunky, slow, and frustrating. The main problem? The double coincidence of wants. You both have to want exactly what the other has, at the exact same time, in the right amounts. Our ancestors quickly grew tired of this headache. They needed a better tool. The solution was elegant. Instead of trading what you made, you could trade something that everyone wanted. Something small, durable, and recognizable. Different cultures found different answers. On tropical islands, they used cowrie shells. In ancient China, they used miniature bronze tools and spades. In the Americas, native peoples used wampum, beads made from special shells. In parts of Africa, salt was so precious it was traded in blocks. Even giant stone wheels on the island of Yap counted as money. This was the birth of the idea. Money is not the thing itself. Money is the agreement around the thing. The value wasn't really in the shell or the bead, it was in the shared belief that everyone else would accept it tomorrow. This was the first seed of trust. As trade routes stretched across continents, people converged on the ultimate desirable object, precious metals. Gold, silver, copper. They were rare, beautiful, didn't rust, and could be melted and shaped. This was commodity money that had real, intrinsic value. You could now travel with a pouch of gold dust or silver ingots instead of herding your cows to the market. But it had problems. You needed scales to weigh it for every transaction. Was it pure gold or mixed with cheaper metal? And try buying a loaf of bread with a gold bar, you couldn't cut off a tiny piece without ruining it. The system was better, but still imperfect. Around 600 BCE, in the Kingdom of Lydia, modern-day Turkey, a genius innovation happened. The king took lumps of a natural gold-silver mix, stamped them with his official mark, a lion's head, and declared their weight and purity guaranteed. The coin was born. This was revolutionary. No more weighing. The king's face was your guarantee. A coin was a tiny, portable contract. This piece of metal is worth what I say it is, declared the ruler. Money became official. It made trade explode across the ancient world, from Greece to Rome to Persia. Trust was now backed by power. Coins were great, but moving large sums was dangerous and heavy. In 7th century China, during the Tang dynasty, merchants came up with a solution. They left their heavy coins with a trusted person and got a paper receipt promising they could get their coins back later. These paper receipts began to circulate as money themselves. Why carry the metal when you could carry the promise? This was the birth of paper money. It was a huge leap of faith. The paper itself was worthless. Its value was 100% based on the trust that you could, if you wanted, exchange it for something real, like silver or gold. The Chinese government eventually took over, printing the first official state-backed paper currency. Money had dematerialized, becoming a symbol. Where do you keep your paper money and coins? At home under the mattress? Risky. In medieval Europe, goldsmiths had strong vaults. People started paying goldsmiths to store their gold. The goldsmith gave them a paper note. Soon, people just traded the notes instead of going to get the physical gold. Then, the goldsmiths had a second brilliant, or risky idea. They noticed that not everyone came for their gold at once. So, they started lending out some of the gold in their vaults to other people, charging interest. They were creating money out of thin air. This was the foundation of modern banking. Money was no longer just a physical object in a vault. It was becoming an entry in a ledger, a number that represented trust and debt. For centuries, the dance continued. Paper money was convenient, but people were nervous. What if the government just printed more and more? To anchor trust, many countries adopted the gold standard in the 19th century. Every paper dollar or pound could be exchanged, on demand, for a fixed amount of gold. This created incredible stability and helped global trade. But it had a major flaw. The amount of money in the economy was tied to how much gold a country had in its vaults. During wars or Great Depressions, governments needed to spend money to help people, but the gold standard said they couldn't print more unless they had more gold. It was a straitjacket. After World War II, the world largely abandoned the gold standard. We entered the age of fiat money. Fiat is Latin for "let it be done." Fiat money has value because the government says it does. It's backed by nothing but trust in the government, in the economy, and in the collective agreement of everyone who uses it. This trust is managed by central banks, like the Federal Reserve or the European Central Bank. They control the money supply, trying to balance growth with stability and prevent disasters like hyperinflation, which is when that trust breaks down and money becomes worthless paper, as seen in Germany in the 1920s or Zimbabwe in the 2000s. In the late 20th century, money underwent another transformation. With computers, money became pure information. Your salary isn't physical cash, it's digits added to your bank's computer. You pay with a plastic card or a phone tap. This is electronic money. It's fast, convenient, and global. You can send money across the world in seconds. But it also means banks, corporations, and governments have unprecedented visibility into our spending. And it creates new vulnerabilities: hacking, identity theft, and system failures. In 2009, in the wake of a global financial crisis that shattered trust in banks, an anonymous person or group named Satoshi Nakamoto launched Bitcoin. It was a declaration. What if we could have digital money that didn't need a government or a bank at all? Bitcoin is built on blockchain technology, a public, decentralized ledger maintained by a network of computers. No one controls it. No one can print more at will. It's digital gold. This sparked the cryptocurrency revolution, with thousands of alternatives like Ethereum. They promise privacy, freedom from control, and borderless transactions. But they are wildly volatile, can be used for illicit activities, and consume massive amounts of energy. They represent a new, turbulent chapter in the search for trust. So, where does the story go next? We are already seeing the next steps. Central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. Governments are developing their own official digital currencies, blending the control of fiat money with the technology of crypto. The end of cash. In some countries, cash is already becoming rare. Will this leave some people behind? AI and finance. Algorithms already trade stocks. Soon, they may manage our entire financial lives. Look back at this journey. From barley to gold coins, from paper promises to digital blips. The form has changed dramatically, but the core idea has not. Money is a shared story. It's the most successful story humanity has ever told. The next time you make a payment, think about it. You're not just handing over a coin or tapping a screen. You are participating in an ancient, global, and miraculous agreement. You are keeping a story alive. The story of us.